welcome to What's Up Ocala. I'm your host, Andrea Praber, and today we are actually not going to be talking about Ocala at all. We're actually going to be talking about Gainesville. Gainesville is this really cool town, and if you live in Ocala for any length of time, you've probably been there for one thing or another. So we are actually going to be discussing Gainesville in all of its glory today, and talking about, how it's different and what's so special about Gainesville and why you're probably going to end up visiting there at some point. If you live in Ocala, you've been to Gainesville. In fact, if you live on the northern part of Marion County, it may even actually be closer for you to shop in Gainesville instead of Ocala. I know from my office, which is pretty centrally located, and it's kind of close to I-75 and right off of 200, it only takes me about a 35-minute drive due north to get to downtown Gainesville. So it's pretty close by. Now, Gainesville, in some ways it's bigger, in some ways it's smaller. Gainesville has only an approximate land area of its town of 62 square miles. And as of January 2022, the population of Gainesville, Florida was only around 130,000 people. Now, Alachua County, Alachua for some, don't come at me at this. Most people pronounce it Alachua, okay? Just get over the Alachua thing. Anyway, it has about 969 square miles, and the population for the county of Alachua is 277,000. Again, approximate. But Gainesville is this really cool mix of like college town vibe and outdoor activities. It has a lot of that laid-back Southern charm. It's also home, of course, to the University of Florida. So you're going to feel that Gator spirit all around town, whether you're catching a football game or exploring the campus or not, you're still going to catch Gator fever. If you're into nature, you have got to check out spots like Payne's Prairie, where you can hike and maybe spot some of the wild horses, or the Devil's Mill Hopper, which is this really cool sinkhole with its own little rainforest. There's also plenty of rivers and springs nearby if you like swimming or kayaking. And really, if you are into swimming and kayaking and stuff like that, you don't have to go to a public pool to go swimming or have to go to the beach and drive that far. Really, throughout Central Florida, there's over 1,000 natural artesian springs. So we are so fortunate, whether you're in Ocala or Gainesville, to have access to all of that natural beauty and to enjoy all of that in all of the natural area that it is. So absolutely beautiful, beautiful things. Just really amazing to see all of that cool stuff there. So if you're wanting to go and do that, you can actually have the ability to go swimming in the water that other people bottle and drink. I just love that idea, don't you? It's just great. All right, so what about downtown Gainesville? It's a lot of fun too, especially if you're going to go shopping or window shopping even. It's just really fun. It has these little local shops. It has these chill cafes. Normally there's live music going on. The city just has this really great art scene. It has a lot of events. It has theaters. It has festivals that they have all the time. And it's great for that community spirit. Overall, Gainesville's got this very easygoing, kind of chill, pretty welcoming vibe that's perfect for anyone that's looking to explore, relax, and then just enjoy the mixture of nature and artistic culture. It's pretty cool. One of the places that I really enjoyed, I loved visiting, I loved the displays and everything, that was the Cade Museum. Now, the mission of the Cade Museum is to inspire and equip future inventors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. How great is a mission like that? That's amazing. This museum was named after Dr. James Robert Cade, who is a professor of kidney medicine at the University of Florida. The museum itself began in 2006 with a very generous gift from Dr. Cade and his wife, Mary Cade. So they went ahead and started the idea of this museum to help so many kids in the future, or young people. Since the 21,000 square foot museum's opening in 2018, more than 100,000 visitors have experienced the Cade's very unique, very hands-on programming, and it's designed to spark imagination and inspire creativity and kind of step out of the box. In fact, I think in that museum, there is no box. It's fantastic. And while you may be thinking that it's really interesting, that's great, those are some nice facts, Andrea, but what does it have to do with me? Well, I beg to differ. You probably think you've never heard of Dr. Cade, but you actually probably have one of Cade's inventions in your home, if not in your hand right now, or you've used one of his inventions in the past. Now, how can I possibly say that to a national or international audience about a relatively small local inventor? That's kind of unheard of. Well, let me explain. Cade's inventions included the first shock dissipating football helmet. That's right, he helped with those. He also did a high protein milkshake that's still used by surgical patients, athletes, and cancer patients. And he also came up with a method for treating autism and schizophrenia, and that's through diet modification. Researchers that are led by Cade's former colleagues, they are currently continuing his autism research over at the J. Robert Cade Foundation, and that's over in Cordoba, Argentina. So they're using a lot of Dr. Cade's data and equipment to further this research on how and if diet modification will help. An offhand question posed by Dr. Cade in 1965 by a former University of Florida linebacker. His name is Dwayne Douglas, and he kind of started it all. He said, "Why don't football players ever have to pee during a game?" Good question. Cade began investigating dehydration on the sports field, and being a kidney doctor, he soon designed and tested a drink that replaced the electrolytes lost through sweat during intense exercise. With the permission of the coaches, Cade's team of researchers, they were basically allowed to test this random drink on the freshman football team. And it's odd, of course. Of course. Okay, maybe not odd at all. They, of course, are going to try it on the freshmen, not the seniors. But unexpectedly, they then beat the upperclassmen in a practice session. I think they were onto something. Ray Graves, the Florida's head coach, immediately ordered up a huge batch of, at the time, a fairly disgusting tasting beverage for his entire varsity squad. And in October of 1965, the Gators beat the LSU Tigers in a major upset. Soon, teams all over wanted to know what this magic elixir is that the Gators were drinking on the sidelines. So in 1967, the Gators, after a miserable first half, came back and dominated Georgia Tech in the third and fourth quarters. And they won 27-12 in their first ever Orange Bowl victory. Now, after the game, Georgia Tech coach Bobby Dodd told Gator coach Ray Graves, "Well, we lost. We didn't have Gatorade. That made all the difference." Well, you can kind of guess what happens. Yep, that's right. Gatorade and all of the electrolyte boosting drinks out there all originated with Dr. Cade right here in Central Florida. That's right. So he is famous, but not quite. So Gatorade obviously is very popular, very famous, even now. Now we take electrolytes for granted. But at the time, it was crazy, revolutionary. Today, Gatorade is owned by PepsiCo, and it dominates almost 80% of the sports beverage market, with worldwide sales of about $5 billion. Yep, that's billion with a B, $5 billion a year. Now, the Cade Museum, which opened to the public on May 19th, 2018, reflects Dr. Cade's really kind of outlandish spirit, his zest for life, and his very unique and new ideas. But his constant genuine interest in helping and motivating and encouraging all kinds of people of all ages and all experiences has never died. This museum is a testament to how asking questions and thinking outside of the box can literally change the game for everyone. So it's also really fun. It has a lot of hands-on things to play with for kids and adults. Yeah, I was in there playing with the stuff too. It's pretty cool. They have all sorts of rooms to go in and get your hands on everything. It's just really great. Now, what else is in Gainesville? The University of Florida, of course. You can go and explore the beautiful campus. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can visit the museums. You can catch a Gators sporting event. I mean, UF is one of the largest universities in the entire United States in terms of enrollment and actual physical size. So UF had an enrollment of over 50,000 students, including undergraduate, graduate, and the professional students. So obviously a large portion of the population that they're counting in Gainesville were actually students. So that's where you're going to see that it's a very much a college town. In terms of actual physical size, though, the University of Florida's main campus in Gainesville, it covers approximately 2,000 acres. So it's a pretty extensive campus. It has academic buildings, it has research facilities, it has residence halls, of course, it has athletic facilities in spades, and it, of course, has a lot of green spaces. UF also has additional facilities and research centers that are located throughout the state of Florida. One of the main features of UF is, of course, the Shands Hospital. It's honestly what it's known for all over the place. It's not just that, but it is definitely known for that. And that's because Shands is a prominent teaching hospital. It serves as the primary teaching hospital for the University of Florida. So it's a college of medicine. Shands is a major academic medical center, and the medical students, the residents, and fellows all receive training there. It's also a hub for medical research as well, and a lot of innovation. The same ideas that Dr. Cade have continue today. Some of the best doctors and specialists in the world can be found there or from there. Shands offers a wide range of medical services. It's not just one thing and that's it, and that's what they specialize in. No, it's all sorts of stuff like general medicine, surgical care, specialized services in a whole slew of different fields like cardiology, oncology, neurology, and all the other ologies. It's also equipped with state-of-the-art medical technology and facilities. I know recently my dad, who has some heart issues that continue to plague him, he was recently telling me about how he went to get scheduled for an MRI. They wanted to check things out, basically. To me, I'm like, oh, okay, you needed to go and get an MRI. No big deal, because it isn't a big deal if you're going to a place like Shands. For him, he had to wait several months, and when he got there, it was not functioning properly. So it has been several months since he went, and then apparently it wasn't talking to the computer. So the machine has never spit out his results, so I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was. But yeah, he waited months to go to it, and he took it as just commonplace. So this is up in Michigan, and it just kind of boggled my mind. I also thought he was a little bit crazy and kind of teased him for going into a broken MRI machine. I was like, that's a massive magnet, and you just went in and it was broken. And he's just like, well, it was only kind of broken. I was like, Dad, what are you doing? So I definitely told him about, all of the great medical care that we have just down the road here, not just, in Ocala, but also in Gainesville, and having the Shands just really close by is amazing, because the equipment that they have is absolutely state-of-the-art, absolutely beautiful. And some of that has actually come over to Ocala as well, as they just opened a 3-story hospital here in Ocala, just off of I-75. I went and took a tour of it recently, and it is gorgeous. The surgical rooms, I got to see all of this stuff because technically that side wasn't open yet. So we got to go and tour through there, and Oh my goodness. The equipment they have is just amazing. It makes the stuff on TV look obsolete and old, which is crazy. So yeah, it was really amazing to see how things are changing and how you can have surgery with like little tiny lasers and it's all computers and stuff now. It's absolutely crazy. But they have a lot of that equipment and stuff, not just in Shands up in Gainesville, but also now here in Ocala. So that's fantastic. Now, the hospital up in Gainesville is a level 1 trauma center, and that provides really high level of care for trauma patients. So those that are being shipped up there from maybe other smaller or emergency rooms or something like that, yeah. It's equipped to handle really complex, life-threatening injuries. In fact, if there's something exceptionally complex that brings you into one of the Ocala hospitals, well, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get shipped to Shands. I got my first ever ambulance ride years ago when I was about 27. Okay, not that long ago, but you know, it wasn't recent. It was in the course of being sent from what was then MRMC, emergency, on up to Shands because I got to, unfortunately, play a round of Stump the Doctors, which is not actually fun at all. So yeah, I was 26 weeks pregnant. So okay, yeah, considering how old my kids are now, it was a while ago, but I was 26 weeks pregnant. And I found out I had a congenital heart defect called Wolff-Parkinson-White, which sent my heart into tachycardia for over an hour. I was stabilized, and then MRMC said, thank you, but no. And they backed me into an ambulance and shipped me and my unborn baby, Lexi, off to Shands. Obviously, Lexi's going to be graduating high school in May, so she's just fine, and so am I. But it was really cool seeing how innovative Shands is. And yeah, so anything weird, yeah, you're probably going to get to meet a lot of doctors and students over at Gainesville. All right, now, within UF Health Shands Hospital, there's also a dedicated children's hospital, and it's known as UF Health Shands Children's Hospital. It specializes in pediatric care, and it offers a huge range of pediatric medical and surgical services. It is huge. It is a huge hospital. So thanks to our son Michael's very specialized needs, we have become very familiar with Gainesville in that way too. And he also is no longer allowed to ride his bike on certain trails. Now, the hospital is involved in all of this cutting-edge medical research, clinical trials, healthcare innovation. It is doing all of that stuff, which is great. It is basically advancing medical knowledge and treatment options for people all over the world, which is really, that's just amazing to me. Shands is also really involved with the local community, which obviously is a really great thing. They offer a lot of community health programs and outreach initiatives, and it's basically just to kind of help promote health and well-being in the region. Not only in medical care, but also in dental care. So you may be one of those that are in Ocala that go up to Shands in order to do your dental care. Now, over the years, Shands has, of course, received gobs of awards and recognition for their high-quality health care, but they're also coming on down to Ocala, and they're offering that down here as well, including some of those community things down here as well. So look into what they're doing, and it'll really just blow your mind. Now, another aspect of University of Florida in Gainesville that you need to be aware of, if you live in Central Florida, the chances are that you are eventually, quite possibly, going to catch a Gator football game at some point. And it is an awesome experience. Going to a Florida Gator football game is an experience like no other, especially if you're at the Swamp, the Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Now, catching a Gator football game, somewhere at somebody else's, an away game or whatever, that's fine. But if you're actually at the Swamp, it is electric from the moment you step onto the campus. The energy is contagious. The fans are just decked out in orange and blue. They're tailgating like crazy before and after. They've got like the barbecue and the music and the Gator chants, and it's all echoing everywhere. And once you get inside the stadium itself, well, it's loud, it's rowdy, but it's in the best way. The crowd's all in sync doing the famous Gator chomp, and they're singing the fight song. And then when the team runs out onto the field, you can the crowd roars. It's tens of thousands of fans, and they just shake the place. It's like this massive family reunion where everyone's hyped up, and they're all hyped up together, and they're all just, going for their team. It's really cool. And the game itself is normally pretty intense, a lot of fast-paced action, and everybody's hanging on every play, and they're standing up, they're sitting down, they're standing up, they're sitting down. It's craziness. Win or lose, the Gator spirit is extremely strong, and you leave feeling like you were part of something big and different. It's not just a football game. It is a full-day experience filled with all this tradition and excitement and community, and it is a thing, okay? It's located on the UF campus. It's absolutely something that you have to try at least once. What else is located on the campus? Well, they have the Florida Museum of Natural History, which is a must-visit spot if you're curious about Florida's natural wonders. It offers a wide range of exhibits that they get into the state's natural history, and one of the highlights is the fossil exhibit, where you can actually see the bones of these ancient creatures that obviously don't exist anymore, but when they once roamed Florida, like giant sloths and mammoths. It's pretty cool. It's a cool way to kind of step back in time and learn about what Florida looked like possibly millions of years ago. Now, another big draw is the butterfly rainforest. It's a lush, living exhibit filled with hundreds of free-flying butterflies from all around the world, and they are amazing. Some of them are huge, and they're just flying all around you. It's so cool. You get to walk through this garden surrounded by all these colorful butterflies and waterfalls and tropical plants. It's so neat. The museum itself also has exhibits on Florida's ecosystems, native peoples, and a collection of the ancient artifacts therein. It's really cool. It's a great spot for kids and adults. It's just really, really neat. It's a lot of education, but it's also entertainment. It's a fun kind of hands-on type thing. Admission, I know you're going to be like, how much could that buy? It's free. It's free, though donations are appreciated. But it's very affordable, obviously, and it's enriching, and it's a fantastic family event to go to something like that. It's unforgettable. All right, what other stuff can you do in Gainesville? Well, my husband and I have definitely really enjoyed attending the shows at the Hippodrome Theater. You have not lived until you see a man dressed as a woman putting a chocolate in your husband's shirt pocket in front of everyone. It's hilarious. You can watch these live theater productions and performances in a really cool historic building. Now, here's just a few of the other things that you might want to visit if you are actually going up to Gainesville anytime soon, or if I've talked you into a visit, go for it. There's some really cool stores up there and some really cool restaurants you should try. Or you can go over to Payne's Prairie, where you can do hiking, you can enjoy wildlife, you can see the scenic views, the wetlands, all of that. Then there's the Botanical Gardens, where you can wander through these themed gardens that have this huge collection of plants that are from all different species. You can also go to the Harn Museum of Art and explore a wide range of art collections from contemporary to Asian and African art, all of the above. And then, of course, there's that Devil's Mill Hopper that I mentioned. That's a geological state park where you can go into that sinkhole and explore all the geological features therein. And of course, just walking around downtown Gainesville, you can walk along the historic streets, you can go to the local restaurants, you can just kind of enjoy the art scene down there and the music and everything. You could go to Sweetwater Wetlands Park, which has some fantastic bird watching, if that's what you're into. You can walk on the trails. You can see a lot of really beautiful views of the wetlands and just kind of make it a very peaceful retreat. Beautiful day. Alachua Trail, you can also take a hike along the boardwalk and the observation tower and look for alligators. I like them from afar. I don't know about you. There's also the Santa Fe College Teaching Zoo, which is exactly as advertised. A teaching zoo. It has a variety of animals and a lot of educational programs, so that might be something you want to look into if you are an animal lover. There's Morningside Nature Center, where you can actually enjoy horseback riding, farm animals, nature trails, and it's all in this really historic setting. You can go to the Matheson History Museum to learn about the history of Alachua County and Gainesville and Florida, and you do that through these exhibits and artifacts that they have. And of course, you can also visit Depot Park, which is one of my favorites. It has the lake that you can relax by. You can go for a paddleboard ride, or you can kind of take part in the community events that they have there, or the Cade Museum is also over there, so do both. You can also, they have an amazing playground there. There's also the Thomas Center, which is a historic Mediterranean revival style building with all these art galleries and gardens. It's gorgeous. And then the Gainesville Raceway, which is basically for drag racing. Super popular, okay? Very, very cool motorsports venue. Then they have Lake Alice, where you can go to this really serene lake area on the UF campus. But be careful, it is home to alligators. So it's pretty cool walking around the paths, though. Now, basically, with all of the fun stuff to do and amazing restaurants and cool college town vibe, Gainesville is a lot of fun to visit. If you're coming to our area in Ocala, or if you're already living here, you're not really sure, maybe be sure to save some time to go and visit some of the really cool places that are available to you because you live so close by. Explore the area you're in. You will not regret it. All right, real quick, we are going to go ahead and talk about real estate here in Ocala, Marion County. Actually, Marion County for the last 7 days. And this is basically everything going on for residential real estate. So it's not going into commercial or anything like that. For new listings for the last 7 days, we've had 309. So quite a few houses have hit the market. Price increase. Well, we had all of 18. 18. Yeah, so their prices are not going up. Well, how many price decreases did we have? 341, y'all. We had 341 price reductions in a 7-day time span. I think I know what's going on. I think the prices are definitely going lower. Now, back on the market, we had 65 sold, 233. You know what? That's about average. That's what we've been seeing for weeks, if not months. So 233 sold is actually a pretty good number right there. Expired, we had 47, of course, because it was end of the month or beginning of the month. We're going to have quite a few of those. Pending, we had 208. That's actually higher than normal. So I guess the lowering of prices is working because we are definitely seeing houses going under contract and being sold. Temporarily off the market, we had 12, withdrawn, only 10, and canceled 56. So there were 56 people that said, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and try again later, and I'm going to see if those prices from 2020 come back again. No, not for a while yet. So that's it for us. If you guys have any questions at all, please reach out to us. We would genuinely love to hear from you. You can go ahead and leave a comment on our YouTube channel, or you can go ahead and visit us online on Facebook. You can do that on Classic Hits Ocala or on Great Expectations Realty. Again, we would love to hear from you guys. All right, we'll see you again next time. Same place, same time. Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Bye.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.